Another week, another episode of Unity TV. We welcome you back to another sit-down interview as we count down the start of the League One BC season. Let's see who it is today. She's a forward from New Westminster, BC, has played for New West, Burnaby, Surrey United, and Trinity Western University, and was your number 18 for Unity FC. Let's catch up with Sophie Crowther. Joining me now is Sophie Crowther of New Westminster, BC. Sophie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I want to start off with your journey of becoming a fan of football from a very young age and when you discovered the great game that we all love to play.
So my brother is very involved in soccer as well. And so he kind of got me involved in it when I was really young. I was probably 4 years old. And he would always go to the field, so I'd always go with him, and he'd kind of drag me along. And I just fell in love with it from there. And we'd always train together all the way through till now. And it's just really pushed me to be the player I am today.
Every player has its own journey of like going to certain clubs, certain environments that really progress them as a player. Can you talk about maybe your journey that brought you to where you are today?
I've always grown up with a very positive soccer experience. I started in New West and I played in a club in New West, and my dad was actually my coach, so that was really awesome. You know, he'd stick me in net when we had no goalie, stuff like that. And then I went on to Burnaby and I met a coach his name is Sean Cody, and he's an amazing coach who connected me to Graham from Trinity Western University. So he got me that connection when I was really young and helped me develop in so many ways. And then I moved on to Surrey United, which was my HPL team, and Rob Giesbrecht was my coach, who is also still one of my coaches today. And I learned so much from him there as well. So I've had a very positive experience with all my clubs growing up.
There's always certain players or a certain club that people look up to when they are enjoying as a fan, that always like inspire them to be one to go to a next level as a professional. Is there a specific player or club that you looked up to, be like, I want to play for them, or I like to play like them, that you really inspired you growing up?
Yeah, so I'm an Arsenal fan, and my whole family's an Arsenal fan. It started from my brother. And I always have aspired to play like Arsenal, and just they have an amazing style they're playing, and they've been doing well recently as well, so that's good. But I really like Bukayo Saka on Arsenal and how he plays on the wing, and I try to emulate him as much as possible because I think he's an amazing player.
You touched a little bit about your style of football that you really like to play. When playing for the Spartans currently or for Unity, what is the style of football that you like to play, or positions do you like to play?
I like to play on the wing. That's probably my favorite place to play. And I think something that I've had to really learn this year in playing is uh, connecting with my team more and just passing and moving the ball as quickly as possible. It's been really effective for our team this year at Trinity, and it's super fun to play when we're just moving the ball from side to side. But personally, I like to try and play as creative as possible, as free as possible, and I find I'm at my best when I have creativity and freedom to try things out.
You've already mentioned a little bit about being part of Trinity, that the coaches at Trinity are your current coaches now that you've had in the past. Talk about that whole journey of choosing a university to go to and what brought you to go to Trinity Western.
Okay, yeah. So Trinity Western, I was actually in contact with Graham Roxburgh when I was 10 years old because I had my youth coach ran an academy, and it was at Trinity. So Graham would coach our team every Monday night at Trinity Western. And I just fell in love with the whole culture, everything involved with Trinity. They were doing really well at that time, and the competitiveness and just culture surrounding the school was just something that was very special that I didn't see anywhere else. And so I really fell in love with it from that point and never stopped loving it since. So
You've already been at Trinity Western for 2 seasons. It's been, especially this season, has been a really great achievement, winning the Canada West Championship, um, going to nationals and getting to the finals as well. Ironically, with UBC, it always seems to be between these two universities. Talk about this whole journey being these last 2 seasons with Spartans as well. Talk about that whole journey for you so far.
Oh, it's been incredible. I I love my team so much. Like, it is just such an amazing environment to play in and be in. All the girls are so supportive and encouraging and genuinely the best people to be surrounded by. And same with the coaches, super supportive. Just such a great place to play. And so, yeah, these last two seasons have been amazing. And this season, I think we really especially got it together and figured it out and started playing like a team. And yeah, it's just been honestly a dream. Exactly how I expected it to be growing up, knowing what the culture was like. And yeah, it's amazing.
When League One BC started in 2022, there was an opportunity for players who are in university to get opportunity to play in the summertime and to play for local football. Talk about that whole process of making the journey to start playing for Unity.
For Unity, yeah. So I started playing for Unity when I was in grade 12, so I wasn't on a university team yet. And yeah, I just got called up for a few games, and I remember it was awesome because it kind of adjusted me to the level that I was going to see in U Sport, which was super helpful for me and kind of helped the transition become a lot easier. But yeah, now that Unity is in full action and I'm a university player as well, it's just a great place to play in the off season, and it just keeps you in a momentum and in a rhythm, and you can gain a lot of skill and learn a lot of things about the game at that level just because it's more free and you have more creativity. And yeah, no, it's just a really good place to play when you don't have anywhere else to play normally.
And you've played significantly a lot. You played 10 games this season. You have 5 goals for Unity this season. And Unity did very well, even getting to play at BC Place. Talk about this whole season as a whole. Like, what stuck out to you during this summer?
Yeah, the season was very cool because, yeah, obviously playing at BC Place was amazing and an experience that I never expected to have. So that was really awesome. But I think, yeah, the team really loved each other and we really became quite close over those couple months. And yeah, it was just really cool playing with some players that maybe were former Trinity players or even my current teammates, and then teammates who I would never play with normally from other places. It's just a really cool environment having all these different players come together and achieve something great.
There's always life lessons that people take away by playing the game on and off the pitch. There's it could be life lessons or personal lessons that they work through, and maybe you could talk about one of the big lessons that stuck out to you during this season at Unity.
Yeah, lessons. Yeah, I think honestly just owning my role. I think that's a big lesson I kind of learned at Unity. And like, you're kind of put into an environment and you just kind of want to be as welcoming and own your own role. And when you get on the field, you want to work hard and do your best. And I think just, yeah, at Unity, obviously it's not your actual club, but it prepares you for everything, and just enforcing those good habits and learning what your role on the team is really important to me. So that's probably my biggest lesson I learned.
There's always goals that every player has, whether they want to become a pro and do this for a long term, if there's opportunities to become coaching or management. There's always different avenues that players want to go, being part of either Unity or beyond. Where do you see what your career goals could see for your career?
Yeah, so ever since I was really young, I've always wanted to play professional soccer, and I still really have that aspiration. It's still the first thing in my mind. And so I have my British citizenship, so hopefully after Trinity and after my years at Trinity, I can continue my soccer journey somewhere and maybe make it to the pro level. It's always been my dream, and yeah, if that can happen, dream come true.
There's always advice that players always like to give to either current players or future players that play for UD. And there's always been really interesting thoughts that really bring out that, quite frankly, I wasn't expecting. Is there something that you always would love to give advice to players that who will eventually play or who currently play for UD?
Um, Probably the best advice that helped me the most is honestly just have fun and play free. You are at this stage in when you're in the Unity season where you get to try things out, you get to play with different players, and yeah, you might as well just have fun and be creative and try things out, and don't be afraid to make mistakes because they happen all the time.
It's very great advice. Not be able to make mistakes and learn from it as well. There's always a big thing is though that UD is be able to play in the Langley, Surrey area about playing local football, and there's always opportunities to play in either with the Whitecaps or with other places. And it's also very challenging because it's not really local to us. How important is it to have local football for us to play in our backyards?
Well, it's just great to keep it local because it brings the community together as well. So you have all the people from Langley coming out to Unity games, and it's just a really great way to connect one another. And so I think it's really important to keep it local because we're all connected through the community.
Fantastic. We're gonna actually finish it with one last question. Every player has their own rituals of like what they do before a game, with the talks about warm ups, and specifically want to ask, what kind of music do you like to listen to when you're prepping for a game?
Well, on Trinity Western, we have, shout out to Claire and Hannah, we have a very special type of music that we always play before our games, and it's called EDM. And so we always have that blasting before our games, and that was definitely a Trinity thing this year, and it was a big theme that we carried on. So hopefully we can kind of transition it to Unity and keep it alive.
Well, we look forward to seeing the EDM being blasted in the locker rooms before the games. We look forward to that. Sophie, very much thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, give it a big old thumbs up for us. And make sure to follow us on our other socials right here. See you next time.